This is the plaintiff, Eric. He says he was living between New York and Miami and needed to find a place quickly, so he rented a month-to-month basis from the defendant. He stopped paying rent because the pipes burst. She never fixed them right, and a mold problem developed. His sneaker collection was ruined by the mold. It was an unhealthy environment to live in, and on top of that, the apartment was illegal because there was no certification of occupancy. Bottom line, he's seeking a return of rent in the amount of $4,800 and is suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Violet Hines. She says she was recovering from a surgery out of the country and her friend rented her basement apartment to the plaintiff without her knowledge. Once she found out, she asked the guy to leave, but he refused. He demanded a payoff of $3,000 to get out. She felt like she was being extorted. Then he started making false accusations about there being mold in the apartment, so here they are. She's accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented from the defendant and stopped paying because the mold there ruined his sneaker collection. But the defendant says that he was out of the country and a friend rented the guy an apartment without her knowing, and she even asked him to leave. It's the case of you break the mold.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome in.
All right, Eric. You're suing your landlord or your former landlord, Ms. Hines, is it?
Yes.
For $4,800, you want all the rent that you've paid while you were there paid
Yes.
back to you.
Yes.
Since what year?
Since 2018, Your Honor.
Okay. Why?
Well, Your Honor, when I moved in there, basically I was moving in there because I had to dissolve a business, and at that time, I was back and forth from Miami from Georgia and to New York. At that time, when I first moved in, I didn't get a chance to really meet Miss Hines because
Who rented you the apartment?
The person that she had there was the super. I was on.
Were you living with the super?
No.
Okay.
The super lived upstairs. I lived in the
a
basement.
different apartment?
Right.
Who rented you the apartment? The super?
Miss Hines rented me the apartment. But she was away in Jamaica, and he was handling her affairs.
How did she rent you the apartment if she was away in Jamaica? Did you meet Miss Hines?
Not until...
Did you talk to Miss Hines?
I spoke to Miss Hines probably a month after.
Okay, so before you rent the place, is Miss Hines in your life at all?
No.
Okay, so according to you, the super rents you the apartment on behalf of Miss Hines. Okay.
Right. Well, the person that got the place for me, which was at that time was my girlfriend, and her and Miss Hines were very good friends. So that's how they spoke to each other.
I'm sorry, is it the super? Is it your girlfriend, or is your girlfriend the super?
No, my ex-girlfriend. The person that I was doing business with was the person that was finding me the apartment.
All right, so you move in, and what goes wrong?
There was a pipe that leaked in the laundry room, and I had told her about it, and I told the super about it, and he said he would relay the message to Miss Hines, and
so you didn't tell her about it?
No, not at that time because I didn't have her number. the person that I was dealing with at the time.
You'd never spoken to Miss Hines until that point?
Not until after.
All right, so when do you finally speak to Miss Hines?
Miss Hines come back from Jamaica maybe in July or August, and I finally...
So you've lived there for how long, a year and something?
No, this was last year.
So you've lived there a few months,
right,
5 months?
2 months, about 2 months.
At some point, you stopped paying rent, right?
That was in October, November.
October of 2018. Why
Right.
do you stop paying rent?
Because at that time, in July, I had realized a lot of my property was, my shoes and things like that was damaged. So
Damaged how?
I had mold all over the sneakers.
Because what? Because of the leak you talked about?
Right, the mold transfer and travel.
Do you have pictures of all that mold?
I have some pictures, actually, as a matter of fact.
Oh, actually, I have them. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, these are shoes.
Right, so those were, all my shoes were in the living room, plus the dresser right there. So there's mold. And
did you sue in a separate courtroom for the mold?
I sued for the mold, but she told me at a certain time there was no stove.
Question.
Go ahead.
Did you think this was a legal apartment you were renting if it didn't have a stove and you just have a little microwave and a toaster?
It was legal.
I mean, you're pretty clear that this is a bootleg, you know.
No, I thought it was legal because it had a lot of windows. Because she was renovating everything.
It has no kitchen.
At the time, I was...
You don't realize that in the city of New York, if you're going to rent out, you need a kitchen?
Well, at the time...
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
about the mold. You have that pending in another courtroom? What happened?
No, that one is waiting for a decision, but
So it's pending.
right,
It's already
pending.
been heard.
Right.
But the judge hasn't rendered their ruling.
Right.
Okay. So your lawsuit in front of me is just about the rent that you paid ever.
Exactly.
That you now want paid back to you. On what legal theory do you want that paid back to you?
Well, because back when I was leaving, when I called 311, they gave me a vacate instead of originally it was supposed to be for repair, but when I came back.
Now, once you call 311, if the place is illegal, you're out. So you have been not paying rent, had a free pad from October to when did you place the call to 311?
Back in, I think it was either October or December. It was a bunch of
No. You have been already not paying rent and living there for quite a while because I saw your text. You submitted a bunch of texts. This were between you and what, your ex-girlfriend?
Right, yeah.
Right, where you're saying, give me Violet's phone number, and then she sends you a screenshot. Violet Slumlord. That's what she had you under in her phone book. And one of the things that your ex-girlfriend tells you is, can you just please leave? Because I'm the one who brought you in there. And you don't. You ask her, how long has it been that we haven't been paying rent? And she answers October.
That was
and all
the
that
roommate.
happens when? When did you finally move out?
I finally moved out in April.
Okay, October, November, December, January, February, March, April.
Right.
7 months you didn't pay rent. And why does he have 7 months of free rent? A, you're not supposed to be renting it. B, why aren't you evicting him?
I did. I'm the one who called 311.
Okay. But why, did you ever go to court and file an eviction?
Thank you. Yes,
No,
Your
don't
Honor.
thank me, just answer me.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you finally go to court and file an eviction?
October 2018.
October? So when he stops paying rent, you actually file an eviction and it just
Before.
never goes to court in 7 months? Why didn't it go to court?
I turned it over to my lawyer because it was coming on
And what'd
to
your lawyer do for
December.
7 months?
She said she was going to put it through the eviction court.
Yeah, but what
through the-
happened? 7 months.
So if you know it's an illegal apartment going in, are you allowed to sue for the rent you paid?
If you know it's illegal, no, absolutely not.
What do you say?
Yes.
You can?
Oh, yes.
You went in eyes wide open.
No, yeah, but he's still liable for a roof he's
We'll find out about that going inside the courtroom.
What did your lawyer, who you picked, do to get him evicted in 7 months?
She put it through the court
And?
and she was waiting. I don't know.
Okay, seriously, you got to get another lawyer.
Thank you.
That's nonsense.
Thank
because
you,
the
but she-
courts take long enough on their own without your lawyer taking their sweet time too. So either your lawyer was working and you don't know what your lawyer was doing, or your lawyer was doing nothing. Either one is alarming. All right, so now what we have in front of me is a lawsuit on your part to get paid to you all of the rent you've ever paid to her on the theory that what? That it was an illegal apartment?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Right. That doesn't give you a legal right to have that money paid back to you. What the law would not allow is her to sue you for rent and say, Judge, help me get rent from him that I need. I would look at her and say, what, are you kidding me? It's an illegal apartment. In other words, it is a shield for you. You are attempting to use it as a sword. I'm going to live rent-free for all this time, and then I want to get all this money back. And that's not how it works. You had some video that you wanted me to see?
Right.
That's of her doing what to you? Maybe something there is actionable. I don't know.
Actually, it was just her coming into the apartment whenever she wanted. I just straight up violated.
It's queued up?
Yeah, give me a
Can
second.
I have it just where it's queued up?
There you go.
Why did you just do the black girls? And those black girls are idiots. Why they lesbian, they're stupid. But the black girl is sent around here to get you this place to live.
Okay, what are you?
I was actually trying to
first,
show-
the godmother of my daughter is Jamaican, and when she gets angry, oh, it's so much fun to watch. When she gets angry, when she talks to her sisters, I'm like, stop! What is everybody saying? All right, what were you saying to him there?
Which one is that?
Oh,
Your
all
Honor?
right. You're yelling at him about all kinds of stuff. When was that taken?
March 28th.
Had they told you to leave by then?
No. I didn't even, the inspector didn't even show up until
After that.
after.
What I'm curious is what would have happened if you had not called 311? We just live like this for years where other people pay rent but you don't and everything's, that how it would have gone along? It's so
Actually-
weird. But Eric, none of that changes what we're talking about here. No tenant in your position is ever able to collect back rent that they paid. Her inability to collect rent is a shield, not a sword. You can't live rent free, turn around and go back and say, and pay me back $4,000 something. What you can say is you can't collect any more rent from me because it turns out that this is an illegal apartment. Now, you can't rent that place out, and neither can somebody else on your behalf until you get all of your problems figured out, which I think you're trying to do because I could hear workmen in there doing stuff. So in the meantime, don't rent that place out. But as far as this lawsuit is concerned, my verdict, for the reasons I've already explained, are for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff's attempt to get $4,800 back in rent did not work. What are you thinking, Art?
Man, look, I tried my best. Apparently, the law is the law. So, what can I say?
Worth the try.
It was worth a try. I mean, she knew that it was illegal. At the end of the day, I didn't, and that's just it. I mean,
So you're out of there, right?
oh, I'm out of there. Been out of there. Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Ms. Hines? You know, they referred to you as a slumlord in there. And do you think you're a slumlord?
I'm not. I'm a good landlord. I'm nice.
You are.
That did out of somebody asking me because they had an issue with their family at their house, and I
Yeah.
agreed to have her stay there for a short period.
So have you gotten that apartment fixed up yet? You gonna
Yes,
put a
I'm
kitchen
working.
in there?
No, I'm
you don't need to show me
working. I'm
anything.
working with my architect.
You
Thank
are?
you. Yes.
Your architect.
Yes.
Good for you. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank
okay.
you.
You cannot get back rent, the rent you're already paid, but you are allowed to stop paying rent and they can collect from you.